Hello and welcome to the Sunday meditation at the Light Institute of Griscom and the Sanctuary of Light. For those of you who are joining us for the first time, we have a special way that we meditate. We divide the meditation into 3 parts. In the first part, we ask our divine higher self. It's the intuitive essence of your soul. It's your own inner voice. We ask it to take form so that you can align to that energy and recognize that part of you as your true self. And so we ask it to take form, we ask it to touch our bodies, and then we just sit in meditation. Now, after we begin to sit in meditation, I'll make a little Om sound so that you can push the button on your machine, and in that way you can meditate for as long as you wish. And then in the second part of the meditation, we practice what we call the art of radiance. We reach up into the cosmos and draw down a beautiful beam of white light down through the top of the head and out through the solar plexus. This is the seat of the emotional body. And we radiate out that light from us. You can radiate it out across the planet, back into the sky, back into the cosmos. And in that portion of the meditation, you just keep drawing it down, passing it through you, and extending it out. And that way, you're actually amplifying your presence and your purpose. And so it's a beautiful way to bring you into a deep meditative state. Another little Om. And in the third part of our meditation, each week, somebody suggests, or we look at a situation or a place or something that's going on in the planet, and we focus our beautiful consciousness into that, and in that way we practice our purpose in life. This week, we're going to focus our attention on the innate capacity of the human form to heal itself. Our bodies actually have all the mechanisms to reject, to neutralize, to dissolve away any form of negative bug, whatever it is. We can do it. The difficulty is that we have lost our connection to that. We feel as if we're vulnerable to these organisms that are coming in, and we don't recognize that our body actually knows how to neutralize them and dissolve them. So we're going to extend light to all of humanity that within their bodies awaken these energies, these fantastic abilities to dissolve anything that doesn't support the health of the body. If you're ready, we'll close our eyes. And as you close your eyes, begin with breath, because exhalation drops your brain, slows it down into a meditative state to prepare you for this meditation. So breathe in through your nose, big long breath. Hold at the top for a moment, and then very slowly exhale through your mouth. With a kind of whistling. And once again, breathe in through your nose. And very slowly exhale. And now ask your higher self, the intuitive essence of your soul, your own inner voice, to take a form for you. It could be a being, or a light, a tree, an animal, an equation, whatever form comes into your mind's eye. You could see it, or hear it, or feel your higher self. Just see what comes to you now. Now ask your higher self to touch your body where you hold your divine essence. Just imagine that you're being touched in that place in your body that activates that divine essence in you. And then begin to breathe in through that touch. Feel as if your higher self in touching that place is, again, amplifying it for you. And then draw your higher self into your body through that point. Just imagine that you are now sitting as your own higher self within you, as your true self. Om. Take a deep breath into your body and reach up with your consciousness. Just imagine that you've moved into the cosmic level of light and pull down a beam of brilliant white light down to the top of your head, down into your stomach, your solar plexus, and feel the power of that pure light as it moves through you, and then radiate it out from your stomach, solar plexus, out across the planet, back up into the sky, up into the cosmos, and continue with your breath. Draw it down, exhale, laser it out, and just continue that amplification of light within you and that gift that you extend from you, expanding your auric field, expanding your presence. Om. Breathe deeply into your body and bring into your mind's eye, imagine the 7.6 billion people on this planet, all of humanity. Bring them into your mind's eye and ask them what frequency of light they need from you to activate their own body's capacity to self-heal, to protect them, to keep them in a state of good health and balance. To see what color comes into your mind. Whatever color comes to you first, again, reach up into the cosmos and pull exactly that tone, that color, down from the cosmos, down to the top of your head, into your solar plexus. Feel it flowing through you, activating in you the power of self-healing. And then radiate that frequency of light out from you and laser it directly into humanity, to every soul who's on this planet. And feel that that frequency of light is stimulating and activating, awakening the power of self-healing, the capacity of each being's body to recognize what is nourishing and healing and what is not, to neutralize any foreign invaders that don't belong into their pure, powerful human form. Just continue to laser that frequency into all of humanity until you feel a shift, that they have received, that they have activated this power within them, each one. Om. Take a deep breath into your body and open your eyes. And as you open your eyes, feel within you that you have amplified the light within and around you, that your body now knows how to protect you, to self-heal from anything that comes, so that you can use this embodiment for your true purpose, the evolution of your soul, and the gifts that you have come to give to this world, to everything and everyone around you, for which I deeply thank you. And now in the second part of our meditation, we have what we call knowings. And knowings is a little episode in which people from around the world extend questions to us. And we look at those questions and bring them to the forefront of our consciousness, to our hearts, and in that way uplift ourselves, illuminate ourselves, and everyone who is listening. So let's hear the questions that have come for this day. Alison will give them to us.
The first question is from Dublin, Ireland.
Dublin.
Chris, I recently heard you mention possessions of the astral variety during one of your videos, and that we can pick these up while intoxicated. This sounded like it wasn't a good thing, and I would appreciate knowing more and how to protect against these. I come from a family and culture of big drinkers. Bless you for your work.
The Irish. Indeed, you have seeded into the world that capacity to bring drink into your social, your cultural energies and into ours as well. First, let's talk a little bit about possessions, what I was mentioning. A possession could be a particle thought form. It could be feelings and energies that surround and you take in accidentally, as when you're intoxicated. Everyone has possessions. The interesting thing is that so many of these possessions are really not ours. They're things that we pick up and then enact. That's why when people are inebriated and afterwards they'll say, well, that wasn't really me. No, it wasn't. It was a possessive energy that you had pulled to yourself or that was hiding inside you. Might have been hiding through many incarnations of the soul. Now, how we get them is that this third dimension, physical form, is moving around in simultaneous space with the astral dimension. The astral dimension has much stratification, from the lowest, what some people might call purgatory, hell, and nasty energies of negativity or fear, and higher octaves of peace, where people often go when they pass from their bodies, or what we call heaven. And so there are all of these levels of this. What happens when you do anything, whether it's through alcohol or various drugs, it even happens when you have surgery, when you've been put out of your mind, so to speak, it opens you to the astral dimension. If you are moving around in your life feeling helpless, feeling angry, with lower, fearful energies, that plops you right into what I call the streaming of the astral energies. And so when you move into that streaming, you're vulnerable to pick up anything. Now, what's interesting is that you will pick up frequencies that sort of align with your own frequencies. And so it isn't that we can blame something else, the possession, but we can realize that we ourselves, when we move into that, this is what can occur. And it's important also to know that when you alter your brain frequencies, you lose your ego self. People think that the ego is just a problem for our emotional energies, but our ego is very important. It says who you are and where you are and what you have to offer and all of those conversations about sense of self. So when you get inebriated, you lose that ego. Now, there goes that part of you that can protect yourself. That's why we have drunkards who get violent and drunkards that get silly. And because the ego is not saying, behave this way so that you can be successful. And so one of the reasons that people do drink, which is really what this conversation is about, is because they want out of their daily life. They want to be able to say the things that they would never dare to say. The only problem is that sometimes they say things that they didn't know that were even in them, because they are not themselves. And so that is a difficulty for us to not be able to use the armor of an ego self. And the ego, by the way, is just the outer crust. It really is just the armor of an emotional body that thinks emotionally, that has many, many conversations. How can you protect yourself? One of the things is to, if you choose to drink socially, to not feel that you have to get drunk, that you have to be inebriated in order to have fun or to be chosen or connect. Now, there are several things that you can actually take into your body that will help you with this. One of them is vitamin C. Vitamin C protects the brain, protects the liver so that you don't get as drunk, if you get drunk at all. It's a physiological kind of protection. The other thing is something called L-glutamine. It is a neurotransmitter. It is an amino acid that passes the blood-brain barrier. It's important to know that the second you take a drink, that first swallow, that high level of sugar in the alcohol goes directly past that protective barrier in your brain. And that's why all of a sudden you feel lightheaded, you feel funny, you feel relaxed, your muscles relax, because it's instantaneously in your brain. So what happens then is that several hours later, there's the crash, unless you keep drinking. Once you stop drinking in about 2 hours, your body will have no longer that sugar input, and it goes into the crash. And that's when people begin to not be themselves or be their best selves. And so what L-glutamine does is it sort of balances that blood sugar in the brain. So it will level that off. And again, allow you perhaps to use that cultural aspect. There are many cultures, the French come to mind, where they start drinking. Of course, they're not drinking scotch, they're drinking wine, but they start doing it when they're small. They don't get drunk. And they get a little bit light. So you can use these things to keep you from going over the edge, so to speak. And also recognizing that you want to build a sense of self that can say what you want to say. It can say it well, and it can say it with the truth that's in you, not having this altered egos, altered self that has been influenced by possessive energies, by negativity, blurting out or acting out things that don't truly represent you. I hope that helps you. Great love. Allison, the second question
is from Mexico City in Mexico. Dear Chris, I just lost my wife to lung cancer.
Mm-hmm.
We lived here together in Mexico City. She was a heavy smoker, and our air quality in the city is a disaster.
Mm-hmm.
It was a horrible death. I'm hoping you might have some insight about why we choose products and places that destroy us. I'm trying desperately to find my way through the grief of losing her and the guilt from our choices. Thank you, dear Chris.
Dear one, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry for you, because the grieving is often really partly about ourselves. Your wife is fine. Your wife has shed all of the limitation of her body, and she is soaring. She is soaring free now. But we are caught with a hole there, and that no one from outsiders can fill. Only you can fill that hole, and I'm going to show you in a moment how to do that. But I want to touch first this conversation of guilt. You are not guilty. Because you chose to be in Mexico City, what we don't understand is that our souls choose to incarnate. They choose their parents, they choose the moment and the way that they are born. They also choose the way that they pass from body. And we would like it to not look so terrible. But even if she struggled with that death, I have seen people die of lung disease, of lung cancer. What it looks like on the outside is different than it is on the inside. On the inside, just like a baby, like a child, your wife was passing in and out, moving in and out of her body. She was literally practicing before she died. And that which looks so horrible to us, that last breath, that struggle for breath, there's a disconnect in there. There truly is. And so what was so horrible to witness on your part is only a flicker for a moment in this long spectrum of life and death that each of us have. She didn't choose it to hurt you, to leave you. She chose it because it was her moment, and she just picked the elements that were around her to do it. There are millions and millions of people in Mexico City that smoke all the time, that suffer that terrible terrible quality of air. I know that sometimes even the birds fall en masse from the sky because the oxygen levels have gone so low. And not all of those millions of people have died or will die in that way. What you want to do, first of all, is release yourself from that guilt and then embrace the power of her soul. Know her as a soul friend. So first, let's just do a little quick exercise in consciousness so that you can begin to let go of that. It doesn't serve you. It's not your fault. You could have taken her away. You could have lived someplace with beautiful skies, and she would have, unconscious to her, unconscious to you, chosen to pass from her body when it is her time. It's not about you. It's about her. Close your eyes for a moment and ask your body where it's holding this heavy energy of guilt. Oh, if I could have done this or I should have done that. Where is that chatter? Where is that guilt? You might see the place or feel it or hear it. Once you identify that place, bring your conscious awareness into that area of your body and ask it what frequency of light, what color it needs, because light is the cosmic energy of communication. What color it needs to release the guilt because it doesn't serve you, and she would not want you to suffer this guilt. Never. Imagine that color and then suck it into that place in your body. You could be pouring it in, you could be lasering it in, you could be pulling it in. Let that light come into that place where you're holding the guilt, and let the light absorb the guilt. And all of the chatter, all of the, if I just done this, wish I had, what if I had, none of that. Let it all go into that light, and let the light wash that away, leaving that place in your body free. So that nothing but that beautiful color is there, and there is no guilt. There is none of that conversation. And open your eyes. Again, I want to repeat, she would not want you to feel guilty at all. Now the second part, that when I perform ceremonies of passage, I always include, because I feel that it uplifts us so much, is that her body is gone, but she has given you a gift by living with you, by allowing you to know her on all the levels that you knew her. And so I would ask you now to contemplate, what is a quality that you loved in her? Maybe she was funny, maybe she was loving, maybe she was smart, maybe she was creative. Just take a moment now and think about a quality that you really loved in her. And now, know that the moment that you think of that quality, that is her legacy to you. Think of that quality now, close your eyes, and just imagine that she's giving it to you, that it's passing into you, that you now hold that quality. She lives within you through that quality, which will become a part of you now. And open your eyes. That's what legacy is. That's what love is. So uplift yourself and celebrate the beauty, the quality that she had, that you love, and know that it is now yours. And she would want you to go on, to love again, to be healthy, to be happy in your life. Great love. Allison?
And the last question comes from South Carolina in the USA. Dearest Chris, I am 85, I am strong, and I am not into conspiracy of any kind. But when I look at all that is happening around the world and the pervasive concern that events are being manipulated to control humans, I have a true, deep sense that all of the global leaders, the ultra-wealthy, the secret whatevers, etc., are not really the ones in control. I don't understand why I feel this, but I can't shake it, and it leaves me feeling rather helpless and hopeless. Please, how can I reconcile this with a long lifetime of trusting leadership and taking world events at face value?
Well, we could spend a lot of time on that conversation, but let me begin by saying, you're not wrong. You're not wrong. In the first place, there are beings of consciousness, hundreds of them, hundreds of species, let me say, right now on this planet that are galactic, that are interstellar, that are different from us, that see reality or see us in a very different way. And so it's very important that we, in a way, grow up as a species, because we're always saying, well, it's the government, or it's the culture, or it's the religion, or it's something else outside us that makes me not be able to be who I am. I would if I could if it weren't for you, kind of energy. And so the answer to that is not, are there? Imagine that in the past there have been great, and perhaps now as well, great avatars who have passed to us and seeded us and moved around the potential of our experiences in ways that support the evolution of our soul. And so yes, through our own negativity, through our own density, we magnify and attract and are vulnerable to the opposite of that as well. But we don't have to be. One of the greatest teachings that my higher self has ever given me is this. The Creator is changed by its creation. There is these laws of cause and effect, action and reaction, which means that somebody may be manipulating circumstances, events, or people on this planet. But what's really important is that we, in recognizing that this may be there, that we participate. So whatever somebody is creating is changed by our reaction. It's changed by its creation. Even if there was a creation that brought about some negative event, eventually that event will take on its own energy and cause an incredible flow of energy that alters what it was in the beginning. Why? Because there is a law, a cosmic law of free will. And so what happens is that eventually we can come to saying, and this is what's happening in the United States right now, if you look at it from the spiritual perspective and all around the world, individually and collectively through all the events, whether it's a pandemic or it's lack of jobs or lack of money or lack of relationships or lack of health, we're asking ourselves, is this who I am? Who are we? And by asking that question, we are changing the source of any of these energies. So what is important is to recognize that the choices that you make will influence that initial energy. It may alter. What a gift to a negative consciousness to give back to it in a powerful way. And so what I would say to you is don't fester with feeling helpless because something more powerful than you is changing your world or your own situation, but rather really feel inside, what do I want to give to this that will bring it into a higher octave? We have been doped down to feel as if we have no control. We do. We have free will to respond in ways that change everything from the inside to the outside and back to the inside, because that is the way the energies function through all of the universes. So extend within your consciousness. Let's just do this quick exercise here. Imagine in your mind's eye a manipulation, a consciousness from a group or beings that are coming from other dimensions that are negatively influencing the powers, quote, the powers that be on this planet. Just imagine that you're gathering them up in your mind's eye. And then ask them what frequency of light they need from you to be released from our plane of existence, or to transmute themselves to give us something more valuable to us, if not to just release back into the unmanifest. And listen carefully, or see or feel a frequency of light, because when we ask questions at this level, we always receive the answers. What's the frequency of light that will release us from manipulation and allow us to help, again, the creators of that manipulation to evolve, to go back to where they came from and to grow? That's cosmic law. Whatever color you get, reach up into the cosmos and bring that beautiful light down to the top of your head and extend it out to any and all energies that have come into this planet to manipulate. Again, whether they're coming from another dimension or from ours, because there are many people who influence others who are themselves being influenced. So radiate that frequency of light all the way back to the source, to those who are manipulating our powers that be. And as you pull it from the cosmos, realize that you have equal power through your choice and through the focus of your consciousness to change that and bring about a different future, a different reality. Extend it out to those energies that you perceive and shift those energies, dissolve them away, or allow them to be mutated in such a way that something else that serves us comes. Breathe deeply and open your eyes and know that we have choice at what we allow to manipulate us, and all that it takes is the power of our consciousness and the focus of reality and truth. Great love and a little cosmic giggle to you, dear 85.